Welcome to the Upstate Coalition to Ground the Drones and End the Wars first evening of our big weekend to talk about drones, to learn from each other, to create community together, to dance, to sing, and to protest and to act so that we can get rid of these drones and deal with the wars of empire of the United States. Tonight we're having music by Charlie King. We have over 100 people here from all over the region. We're extremely excited about it. Tomorrow is a full day of workshops, which would be fabulous. Tomorrow night, more music and celebration. And Sunday, if there's any day you can come, Sunday is it. There's going to be a rally and a march at Hancock Air Force Base. The rally gather at noon at the OCM BOCES parking lot at the very end of Thompson Road, past the intersection of Thompson and East Malloy Road. From there, we'll rally at 12:30 for about an hour or so, and then walk to the base where we will rally again. So please be sure to join us. Thanks.
My name is Ann Wright. I'm a retired U.S. Army colonel and a former U.S. diplomat. I'm here in Syracuse, New York, to be at a protest of Obama administration's drone programs, that assassin drone program that is killing people in Afghanistan and Pakistan, in Yemen and Somalia. The killer list that President Obama uses every week to determine who lives and dies in Pakistan and Yemen. We're here to protest Obama's drone program, and right here at Hancock Drone Base in Syracuse, we'll be out to challenge in this community these killer drones being flown from here. Please come join us.
I would like to say first that we tried to get an Elvis impersonator, and the talent guy said, well, we don't have anybody, but there's this guy, Charlie King, who likes to pretend he's an Elvis impersonator, so we're very lucky in many ways. This is the notes that Carol was referring to, and I have a small number of copies that are available. We can certainly make more and get more. This is a chronology of activism about the drone issue here in central New York that covers about the past 3 years. In the interests of, I guess, appropriate pedagogy, I'm not going to read it, but give you a couple of highlights. I should say also, for people that don't know the Syracuse area, we are, and maybe it's the water and maybe it's the lousy weather, I don't know how those things combine, but this has been a hotbed of activism for many, many, many decades. Much very important and proudful activities associated with protection of runaway slaves. This was certainly the seat of much of the organizing around women's rights. The Women's Rights Hall of Fame is about 50 miles to the west of here. This certainly has been a place where conscientious objection has happened in every major war, and the Syracuse Peace Council is the longest existing local peace and justice organization in the United States. We began in 1936 with the energy provided mostly by Quakers at that point, faced, as can be understood, all kinds of controversy with people who refused to serve in World War II. And since that time, we've had our ups and downs. And I'm sorry to say, like many other peace and justice organizations, it's when the water gets hot that the activism gets hot too. And it was really with the imminent war in Iraq that we saw a resurgence in this community, as all of upstate, in resistance to that. And we shared, of course, the great sadness when the imperialism happened, despite what was a worldwide expression of horror at the imminence of those attacks. Apropos of the drones, we have representation in the Senate by Chuck Schumer and Kristen Gillibrand. Schumer prides himself on being the go-to guy for jobs. He sees the drone program as an enormous way to make up for a slow but very steady erosion of manufacturing and industrial jobs in the northern part of New York State. Syracuse is an unfortunately common example of the loss of those kinds of jobs. And to have the Hancock base here has provided an opportunity for the kind of grandstanding around the creation of jobs that Chuck Schumer, unfortunately, is very capable of. That's something that I would ask all of you to find out where your own legislators are about this issue. He's even trying to advance the calendar for the use of drones in civilian airspace. So even logical questions of safety seem to be trumped by the idea of jobs. Hancock Air Base was the home of the 174th Fighter Wing, a wing that had, in its own eyes, a very long and prideful and admirable record with the F-16 fighter. With the decline of the use of that fighter, and ultimately its retirement, the base was kind of like a person looking for a job. And the drones fell in the lap of the powers that be, like Christmas come early. In fact, within the past year, the 174th Fighter Wing, with the loss of the F-16, has renamed itself, and it is now called the 174th Attack Wing. One would query that when we have a Department of Defense, ostensibly to help us with defense, and not to take an international posture of offense and imperialism, to have something called the 174th Attack Wing seems a little hard to understand. The irony, I feel, above all with the drones is their presentation to the American public as a safety measure. That the use of drones is a way to keep our pilots safe. And in fact, the early articles in the paper that talked about the installation and the growth of the drone program at Hancock talked about the pilot who would sit at his or her, although I think it's predominantly his, sit at his control station doing his video game all day and then being home in time at night to have dinner with his family and watch the kids play soccer. The notion of normalizing the role of the whole drone program, to put that in the context of you can go home and have dinner with your family, was a way, I believe, of assuaging in a preemptive way what would be our kind of reaction. This is crazy. To call it normal and usual and encourage the kind of schizophrenic life of killing during the day and putting your children to bed at night, and to find less and less wrong with that, I think is part of the mind game that we're being asked to play apropos of the drones. Okay, I want to give you a little bit of specific history, and I'm thankful to Ed Canan, our good buddy who was in the clink, for putting this piece together. This is a perfect example of we use the talents that we have to help us grow and learn and develop the solidarity. And Ed is well known, in addition to his inability to stay out of jail, to his writing. And I think that the gifts he gives the movement in terms of his writing, ones we should certainly be thankful for. Founded in 2010, Upstate Drone Action, also known as the Upstate Coalition to Ground the Drones and End the Wars, is a decentralized, informally organized grassroots organization, primarily composed of upstate New York activists representing a diverse assortment of peace and justice organizations in different cities. And I hope I don't skip any, but regular representation, both at our meetings and our presence at the base, and our actions include Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, Utica, Albany, Binghamton, by extension Trumansburg. Where's Cynthia? Cynthia is Clinton, no, what's the name of your town? Vernon, New York. And Ithaca, I'm sorry. Mind whatever. At least. We also have had the presence of people from Massachusetts, certainly New York City, and all spaces in between. This is truly an upstate coalition. And I encourage you, if you are not part of our geography, to be encouraged by that. That 3 people from 5 cities who are willing to come together once a month or once every 6 or 8 weeks is all that's needed. Yes, Cynthia?
Rome is awesome.
Rome. Let us not forget Rome. The weekend of Mother's Day, in fact, there is going to be a presence in Buffalo at a base that there are designs beginning to be drawn up related to the inclusion of drones, the presence of drones, and a number of us are going. And we see this as only appropriate. The kind of trade-off is that we in Syracuse provide the hospitality, but we're not getting in the car for 3 hours. So we are endlessly thankful to the people from Buffalo, Ithaca, etc., who are traveling here for the presence at Hancock and for this kind of gathering this weekend. But recognize that that's the trade-off. You come to me and I'll come to you as a way of planting the seeds. But I want to encourage you that even a small number of people can produce a presence. We have begun in, I'd say, the last 15 or 18 months to adopt an approach at the base that we're calling the Gandhian wave, after a similar approach that was used at the School of the Americas, and obviously following the original waves, established by Gandhi. The idea of relentless, nonviolent presence, little as it is, just relentless, nonviolent presence. And I encourage you that this is something that is not hard to do. And you don't have to get arrested, and you don't have to spend half your time in the clink like Ed. Okay, let me continue. We seek to educate the public and Hancock Air Base personnel about the war crimes excuse me, perpetuated in Afghanistan with the MQ-9 Reaper drone piloted from Hancock Air National Guard Base. It is also our mission to illuminate the perversity of a society that chooses war over all other solutions. We also seek to educate the public about drone proliferation and the danger of blowback, as well as the surveillance and civil liberties threat the Predator, Reaper, and other military robots pose domestically. There's kind of an irony that in the past weeks, maybe even a couple of months, the drone question has been part of the conversation in the Senate and the House. Thank you. And our fringy actions are getting less and less fringy. When people are challenging the Attorney General for the justification in law about the notion of attacking Americans on American soil, and Eric Holder temporized, was unable to respond automatically. No, we'd never do that. In effect, he said, I have to go and check back with the boss before I give you an answer. That created a great deal of outrage. And our posture, our position, is becoming less and less fringe and more mainstream. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through any more of this. I would ask that you pick it up. It gives a variety of ways that we can express our outrage. We can do our education, all varieties of street theater, public presence, dealing with the press, etc. There's nothing magical about these ideas, and they can be modified as creatively as you like. I want to encourage people to, if you have any opportunity, to call up your friends and neighbors and family and have them join us on Sunday. There will be an opportunity for a non-arrest, non-risk participation. There also will be the opportunity for a civil resistance action. And that's the last point I want to make, is we are very purposeful in calling that part of the work civil resistance rather than civil disobedience. Civil disobedience means that you are knowingly breaking the law. Our posture is that the law is being broken by our government, and it is our obligation as citizens, both of the United States and of the world. We are obliged by our Constitution, Article 6, which says that all treaties to which we are signatories, including the UN Charter, the Nuremberg Conventions, etc., we are obliged to tell our government when it is breaking the law. And therefore, our actions are ones of resistance, not disobedience. So if you have any interest, and I can vouch that the food in the local prison is really shitty, but the company is great. Okay, it's now my great privilege to reintroduce Charlie King. I think it's probably significant that enough of us are older enough that Charlie has been part of our own growth and development as activists. His music thrills your soul. His music amuses, it educates. He's no stranger to Syracuse. He's performed with the Syracuse Community Choir. He's beloved by them. And by extension, I would ask us to give him a huge thank you for his presence with us tonight.
If you miss me at the back of the bus, you can't find me nowhere. Whoa, come on over to the front of the bus. I'll be riding up there, that's your part. I'll be riding up there, can you sing it? Oh, come on over to the front of the bus. I'll be riding up there. If you miss me in the cotton fields, you can't find me nowhere. Oh, come on over to the courthouse. I'll be voting right there. Sing that. I'll be voting right there. Oh, I'll be voting right there. Oh, come on over to the courthouse. I'll be voting right there. And if you miss me on the picket line, you can't find me nowhere. Oh, come on over to the county jail. I'll be rooming over there with Ed. I'll be rooming over there and I'll be singing. I'll be rooming over there. Oh, come on over to the county jail. I'll be rooming over there. This song probably has more verses than we have time to sing tonight. And one of the reasons is it hopped around from one movement to another. In the late 1970s, it was picked up by a group of women on a bus heading for the state capitol in Phoenix, Arizona. And they were going up there to push their legislature to endorse the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment that would establish equality of the sexes in the U.S. Constitution. It did not pass, but they got a good song out of it. If you miss me in the Constitution, you can't find me nowhere. Oh, come on over to the ERA. We'll rewrite it right there. Try that. We'll rewrite it right there. Oh, we'll rewrite it right there. Oh, come on over to the ERA. We'll rewrite it right there. And if you miss me by the kitchen sink, you can't find me nowhere. Whoa, come on over to the law school. I am graduating there. I'll be graduating there singing. I'll be graduating there. Whoa, come on over to the law school. I'll be graduating there. And if you missed me in your fantasies, you can't find me nowhere. Oh, come on over to karate class. I think we can work it out there. We can work it out there. Oh, we can work it out there. Oh, come on over to karate class. We can work it out there. If you miss me under your thumb, you can't find me nowhere. Whoa, whoa, better look all around you, chum. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. Whoa, better look all around you, chum. We are everywhere. If you miss me at the end of my song, you can't find me nowhere. Whoa, you know when we sing it strong, ours is a world to share. Oh, ours is a world to share. Singing. Oh, you know when we sing it strong, ours is a world to share.